day we celebrate the feast of St. Agnes. Agnes means lamb in Italian and Latin, and that's why you see her carrying one all the time. She was born into a wealthy family, lived in Rome during the time of persecutions. The emperor, though he was lenient toward believers of his rule, Diocletian changed the course and resolved to wipe out the church in the empire. Agnes came of age as the church was beginning to suffer under a set of new laws. The emperor called for churches to be destroyed and their books burned. More orders led to the imprisonment and torture of clergy and laypersons. Meanwhile, Agnes had become a young woman of great beauty and charm, drawing the attention of suitors from the first ranks of the Roman aristocracy. But in keeping with the words of Christ and St. Paul, she had already decided on a life of celibacy. To all interested men, she explained that she had already promised herself to a heavenly and unseen spouse. These suitors understood Agnes's meaning and resented her resolution. Some of the men trying to change her mind reported her to the state as a believer in Christ, and so she was brought before a judge who tried to persuade her and then threatened her into renouncing her choice not to marry. When the judge showed her the various punishments, fire, iron hooks, rack, stretching the limbs, Agnes smiled and indicated she would suffer them willingly, but she was brought before a pagan altar instead and asked to make an act of worship, which she refused, making the judge very angry. He sent her to a house of prostitution, where the virginity she had offered to God would be violated. Agnes predicted God would not allow this to occur, and her statement proved true. The first man to approach her in the brothel was struck blind by a sudden flash of light, and so others opted not to repeat his mistake. But one of the men who had first sought to make Agnes his own now lobbied the judge for her execution. In this respect, the suitor obtained his desire when the public official sentenced her to die by beheading. The executioner gave her one last chance to spare her life if she would renounce Christ, but Agnes refused, made a short prayer, and courageously submitted to death. She died in the year 304, was venerated as a holy martyr from the 4th century onward. She is mentioned in the Eucharistic prayer, which is the Roman canon, which is Eucharistic prayer number 1. Now, if you get to Rome, go to Piazza Navona. There you will see the Church of Sant'Agnese. Go inside and take a look. It's beautiful. And remember, this young girl is a saint and a martyr, a witness for the faith. She stood up to her executioners. God bless her.